Some people consider social media a double-edged sword, giving us the best of society, but sometimes the worst. Further than that, some consider Reddit the dregs of internet culture, the bottom of the barrel, and for that, you could be right. I decided to read the most controversial posts for the entire month on Armmaster Duel. What could possibly go wrong? First post of most controversial Armmaster Duel. Just ban these cards. Only 5 upvotes. They hated him because he spoke the truth. Because I see that the thumbnail of this is Fenrir. So what is the problem here? The fact that these cards, one is limited, the other is semi, but somehow my opponent always opened up with one of them should be illegal. What do you mean I get to banish cards just because you activated a monster card? These two are far more harder to deal with than a Rise Heart. It doesn't help that they're splashable in any deck and they are free special summons. Why is this so controversial? Explain to me. I think the reason for why this is the most controversial post this month is not because he's wrong, it's because he's explaining it in a bad and incorrect way. You see, Fenrir should be banned. I am the strongest soldier of the banned Fenrir camp. But it's because he's blaming it on like Kashtira and because he's being sacked, apparently, from getting these one-offs dropped on him. Only 3 upvotes and 114 comments. I am very clearly in a small minority here, but he is correct. He is correct. All right, let's see what the replies are. While tier limits might be the most overpowered archetype till this date, Kashtira is the most badly designed one by a landslide. True. Punishing someone for playing the game with the strongest form of targeting removal possible. Also messing with your extra deck. Why not make it better and make them free bodies? Oh, and of course, they can add cards from the deck. On top of all that, no restrictions. You can play them in everything. Then again, we talk about people who think Max C keeps the meta in check. XD. Let's see what the responses are. It's not just that you can play them in everything, but that you want to play them in everything. It's a bit tamer at 1, but I feel like it's used as a 3 of in every deck in a TCG. And why wouldn't you? Free body and a pop and a search. There's 0 reason to not be playing it in most decks. Fenrir being able to search itself is so absurd. Almost all search cards, with a few exceptions, say you can't search a copy of itself. It feels like the guy who designed those was overslept and missed half the text. Honestly, the main card I hate is Unicorn, because Unicorn punishes you extremely hard for hand trapping, even correctly, to the point where it's better to hold your hand traps until your turn. I think a Rise Heart is not that big of a deal, and whoa. Let's not, like, be a Rise Heart apologist. Stop it, it's already dead. True and based. Upvote this guy. Why are D-Barrier and EEV still legal? I think it was, like, 2 formats ago in the TCG where everyone was constantly ranting about them. And then I guess they just aren't as relevant now because, you know, Snake Eye and stuff like that. But that doesn't negate the fact that these cards are you know, should be, like, gone. You know, just as, like, conceptually, these cards are ridiculous. Maybe this has very few upvotes because he isn't explaining it correctly. Why? Just why? Links are basically the reason why Konami will never ban D-Barrier. Why are you upset about D-Barrier, Sword Soul player, branded player? Just use your extra deck. Use your other tools. Yeah, Shaman is really good. Just summon Dissipator. Why are you upset?
Hey, Bader.
Oh, okay. We have a challenger here. They're not good right now. Okay, I know that this video is supposed to be like a bit of a meme, like, kind of thing and stuff like that.
But this is never a good argument.
Just because a card isn't good right now doesn't, like, mean that it's, like, okay. There's plenty of cards that might not be, you know, so great in a current format, right? But they will always be problematic. So that's not a good argument. The literal only decks that can consistently make use of them are Lab and, like, Lair of Darkness. As if to say that Labyrinth isn't somehow also relevant. Like, Labyrinth is still, like, popping off, dude. Because of the speed of the game, normal traps and all the traps in general need to be insanely busted in order to ever see play. This guy's never heard of a side deck. This guy has never heard of every single deck in, like, 2022 just putting 3D barrier or any kind of floodgate in their deck and just side decking it for when you go first. You flip it and you auto win. What do you mean? Unfair is the name of the game in Yu-Gi-Oh! Well, I mean, I can't disagree with here. Not saying that means they should stay, but if you look at what is possible in this game, it's no surprise that cards like these exist. I mean, you know what? He's not wrong. Well, this is Armmaster Duel, sir. Yeah, but it doesn't really negate the point, though, does it? Like, in the end, you know, the side deck thing might not be completely true, but, you know, when you look at a deck like Labyrinth, which is, like, searching them, it's kind of annoying, isn't it? Makango might be the most anti-tilt deck in the game. Anti-tilt? Don't you think getting OTK'd is tilting? Okay, what does he mean? Let's cook. A I've been saving up for this deck for a month now. With all the gems from the Duel Triangle, I blew 7k gems on the Makango pack, and I didn't pull a single Ohime. But I did get 3 Guardian Ethos, my worst nightmare. Is this really a complaint about Makango, or are we just like here to complain about pulling? After a lot of crying, I was able to finally build the deck, and Lamau. Now I'm happy that this game is a rigged coin toss. I lose 75% of the time. Opponent makes me go second? Great. What I wanted anyway. Opponent makes terrifying board of Apple Baron Savage? Have a Lava Golem. Hell, have 2 of them. Lava Golem Arabesque. Lava Golem must be infuriating to be on the receiving end of. Shifter, D-Fissure, Macro? I don't care. Have this Kaiju. Why is this so downvoted? It's just some guy talking about how happy he is to play Makango. Why are they so angry at him? Oh my god, dude. The Yu-Gi-Oh community, I swear to god. Bro is just out here having fun playing the game, and people are like downvoting him for it. At least he's not even being weird about it. He's not even being like a Coomer. He hasn't even mentioned her armpits or feet yet. Maxi, you won't live to use those cards you're about to search. The deck makes playing the game fun because I don't care what my opponent does, and more importantly, I don't care about losing the rigged coin. Bro called it rigged. My 3rd game after building this deck was a rank up game against Fossil Dyna One Bad Day. I think it's like actually ridiculous that I have just unfortunately been the responsible person for calling this deck One Bad Day, which is just a reference to the fucking Joker. Lost the coin flip? Quelle surprise! Do you know how mad I would have been if I was playing any of my other decks? Not with this one. I just brought out Hewley, and the other guy scooped after I got rid of the Dyna, and he even normal summoned Maxi skull emoji. This is going to be my One Bad Day deck. If only if it was playable IRL. Isn't it? Wait, what? It is playable. You can do all of this if you want. Seems like this deck farms ranked in Mass Duel. Since IRL we have side decks and the opponent knows what we're up to, there's no way it would work in a match duel. Dude, you know what's like, actually, this what just reminded me of? Imagine how cursed Master Duel is going to be when Tenpai comes. I'm feeling ill just thinking about that. Tenpai in best of 1. Please let this come to Master Duel. This is very downvoted. Wow. Is this controversial? I don't know. Baron and Savage, I think the majority of the player base are happy they're dead.
However,
there is a significant portion of players who say like, oh, well, now my deck doesn't have a boss monster anymore. Let's see what the replies are. Save Link Karibo. Fuck Poplar. That card does too much. Me watching full Snake Eye Rescue Ace combo turn 1, turn 2, enemy flip summon limit. Add Fenrir to the list. Oh, we found the Farfa viewer. The fuck did he do? -3 points. Get him. Get him! Ah, yes, make a whole bunch of decks worse, like, while Snake Eye continues to be the best deck by far. Is that really what people are upset about? People refuse to, like, think about, like, the big picture. They don't really look at, like, the long term with this kind of thing, do they? It's like, well, my deck is going to have no boss monsters, but, like, ultimately, I personally think that the game is better overall. All right, what else do we got here? Makango is a terrible card design, and cards like them should never be printed again. So, someone explain to me why the thread praising Makango is controversial, but then Makango being complained about is also controversial. They can't agree. We love Makango, we hate Makango. Both downvoted to shit. All right, this one has more discussion points. Let's see what this is about. Guys, please just use paragraphs. It's a brainless OTK strategy, and you can't fucking target shit. Oh, what? Playing the game? Interacting with your opponent? No, we're playing Surrender to save time simulator. I have no idea why cards like that have been printed not so long ago. I thought even the designers realized they're a bunch of diarrhea. Play around it? The fuck you mean play around it? Sorry, I can't pull 4 non-targeting banish out of my rect. You want me to play Omni Negate spam or what? Edit, some of you think I suddenly hate Makango because I lost my silver 3 winning streak to Makango. I'm writing this because it pisses me off that cards like that were made. A deck that ignores anything in theory slightly weaker going blind second in best of 1, but immediately loses the best of 3 with someone slightly good at the game is completely ass. Nobody wants shit like this in the game. Boy, you will love Tenpai. True. This community will have a meltdown for ages when Tenpai gets to Master Duel, and with me leading the way. That's how I feel about dinosaurs between Misk turning off interaction against all dinos on field. How did we manage to go from Makango to dinos? Those are very different decks, but I kind of see what he's talking about. Misk should be banned. Do not at me. What do you mean 4? You just need to out Huli or prevent her from hitting the field in the first place. Ash or Bell are usually enough. Pretty much all board breakers work too. Board breakers against the going second deck. Okay. OP's POV. Why are you booing me? I'm right. This is me every single day. What? Oh, wow. Controversial meme review, apparently. Motherfuckers mad they made a trap deck that fixes the problems of trap decks. Trap decks are hindered by how slow they are and do nothing going second. Okay, we'll print a trap deck that helps with going second. This deck is broken and unfair. This is another one of those duality problems, but let's read the comments. I want traps to be more usable in general, not limited to being good in a singular deck. That's actually a good point. I don't care if Labyrinth uses trap spells. Fucking Pokemon cards. It's boring to play against. Me. Bro said Pokemon cards. You're missing the point. It's like if people were complaining that they wanted a good XZ deck, and then when Cash came out, someone said, Lamau, you guys wanted a good XZ deck. What gives? The problem isn't that it's good. The problem is that it abuses some pretty unfair, nasty cards. Yeah, I mean, searching D-Bar is one of those issues, isn't it? Oh, wait, but we got a counterpoint here. I get both sides of the coin here. Lab's whole theme of speeding up trap play is cool and interesting, but there's also some trap effects that were printed without the intention of them ever being able to trigger to turn 1, I think he means turn 0, or the same time they were set. Whether one likes it or it's viewed as fair is a matter of opinion and something I think you'd rarely find agreement on among a mass group of people. This is like... This is the most reasonable Redditor I've ever read. Understands both sides of the argument, and then gives a good, actual balanced conclusion in that when you have a discussion point on a controversial subject with a mass group of people, you will be divided and polarized on that opinion. This right here, this is the most reasonable Redditor. Oh boy, a Dragoon thread. Okay, let's read the title first. I think some people, when taking part in the Dragoon Unban discourse, are missing the requirements of summoning it through Red Eyes Fusion and Verte. TLDR, splashing this package to be used with exactly Verte is mega ass. I don't think you would ever be seeing the Verte Dragoon package in a slightly competitive setting, higher ranks than gold when modern decks exist. I don't know if he's completely right there. Or completely wrong there, rather. Maybe, if your deck is consistent enough and has 3 Garnets, it's just not worth it. Splashing 2 monsters together and making a Verte to spit out a Dragoon. Do you think Snake Eye would play Dragoon today, right now, on Master Duel Ladder? Potentially. But the thing is, DPE exists and nobody's doing that, so why would they do it for Dragoon? Probably not. I don't think so. For those who don't know, you can't summon Dragoon with Dark Magician plus any Dragon through Red Eyes, even if that's what Dragoon says its material cards. You also need Red Eyes Black Dragon while using Ref because of the first line of the text. He's talking about like hard activating it here. Let's go to the comments. Slight correction. Even if you do draw Dark Magician or Red Eyes, you can still use Verte to send Ref and summon the Dragoon since materials are used from the hand, deck, or grave. Still feels bad having to play 2 vanillas and drawing Ref feels bad. I'm all for Dragoon coming back and Verte going though. Ignoring summoning conditions is the biggest problem for Verte. It's why it's banned in TCG rather than the fusion targets because they see 0 competitive play without Verte. I'm fine with dealing with Dragoon if it was made properly. I'm not fine if it was made by cheating it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the roundup of this month's controversial Master Duel Reddit rants. Pretty good week, actually. Pretty good month, rather. There's some very funny takes here. 10 out of 10, honestly.